Most people never fail because, if we're being honest, they never even start. Their defeat doesn't happen in the arena. It happens on the couch, in the kitchen, in the mind. It happens in silence, where they stare into the mirror, thinking, maybe, someday, later, but later becomes never, and maybe becomes an epitaph. The secret no one tells you. You were told you failed. If you didn't become rich, that you failed. If you didn't build a business, that you failed. If you didn't come in first. But the truth is different. You failed long before that. The moment you let fear speak louder than decision. Wars are lost before the battle, and almost always in the mind. You don't need 100 defeats to surrender. All it takes is one compromise with your dream. One internal conversation where you choose safety over risk. One night where you whisper to yourself, I'm not ready yet. Ready? No one was ever ready. Not a single legend in history waited to be ready. People aren't afraid to fail. They're afraid to decide. Think about it. What truly stops a person? Not poverty. Not crisis. Not lack of education. Uncertainty. That's the poison. It doesn't kill fast. It suffocates slowly, every day. When you don't know who you are, you won't start. When you're not sure what you want, you won't move. When you wait for perfect timing, you'll wait forever. Uncertainty is paralysis. You can't build an empire if you're constantly checking the GPS. You can't light a fire if you keep wondering whether to strike the match. You either decide or you lose. Human history was written by hesitant hands, but it was changed only when someone finally stood up and said with clarity, this is what I want. When Columbus set sail for India, he didn't know where he was going, but he sailed anyway. When Edison worked on the light bulb, he had no certainty it would work, but he kept going. When Hemingway sat down at the typewriter, he didn't know if anyone would ever read his words, but he wrote anyway. You don't have to know everything. You have to decide and move. Decision is the turning point. You don't win the battle when the crowd is cheering. You win it when you refuse to retreat. Why most people never even reach the starting line? Because they were taught to be good, taught to be obedient, taught to fit in, not to stand out, to doubt themselves, and most of all, they were taught to wait. Wait for permission. Wait for confidence. Wait for inspiration. Wait for Monday. But success doesn't visit the ones who wait. It comes to the one who declares, it's mine. I'm taking it. Opportunity only exists for the one who's willing to move. You could be the smartest, the kindest, the most talented, but if you don't act, the world won't see you. It will forget you. And as brutal as it sounds, your potential means nothing to anyone. Only your results matter. And results don't come from strength. They come from one thing, a moment of decision. One moment, one choice, one voice in your head that says, I begin. No guarantees, no safety net, no permission. The enemy is doubt in your own power to decide. Most people aren't afraid to fail. They're afraid to take full responsibility for their life. It's easier to blame the economy, easier to blame their parents, circumstances, childhood, the government, globalization, fate, because then they can say, it's not me, it's the world. But the one who decides takes the power back. And with that power comes pressure. That's why most people never start. Because to start is to admit that it's all in your hands now. That success or failure is no longer chance, but consequence. The moment of decision is the point of no return. Decision isn't a thought. It's an act of will. It's like leaping off a cliff without a parachute, believing you'll learn to fly before you hit the ground. It's when you say to the world, I'm not asking. I'm announcing. from that moment on. You're not working for a paycheck. You're building an empire. You're not waiting for inspiration. You're building discipline. You're not looking for the easy path. You're choosing the path that changes you. That's why you must begin now. Not because you're ready, but because you can't keep postponing yourself. Every delay is a denial. Every later is a quiet death of your destiny. Every maybe is a victory you never claimed. The truth of this first lesson: you didn't fail. You simply never began. But everything changes in one moment. When you rise, look yourself in the eyes and say, enough waiting. I decide. Now. You didn't choose this. You didn't choose to doubt yourself. You didn't choose to hesitate every time you had a dream. You didn't choose the small thinking, the overthinking, the fear, the guilt. You didn't choose the voice in your head that whispers, that's not for you. Who do you think you are? Be realistic. No, that voice was given to you, like a script, like a virus, like chains made of words wrapped around your potential. You didn't choose to fail. You were trained to. The system taught you to lose before you even knew how to win. From the moment you could speak, you were told to follow the rules, not the laws of greatness, not the laws of wealth, not the laws of vision or belief or mastery. No, the rules of obedience. Raise your hand. Stay quiet. Don't question. Don't stand out. Don't want too much. Don't speak too loud. Be a good boy. Be a good girl. Play it safe. Get in line. Wait your turn. Trust the system. Do what you're told. And if you followed the script, you got a gold star. You were rewarded for dying inside. The lie that silence is power. They told you your job is to fit in. They never told you your mission is to stand out. They praised your discipline but punished your fire. They smiled when you played small but flinched when you spoke with power. They taught you humility by stripping you of pride. And here's the darkest truth. The system doesn't need you to be great. It needs you to conform. Because conformity is predictable. Conformity is profitable. Conformity doesn't change the world. It keeps it spinning in circles. So they give you labels. They tell you who you are. Introvert, extrovert, ADD, shy, too ambitious, not ambitious enough, smart, average, poor, broken, and you believe them. Because when you're young, you don't question the map. But here's the thing. The map they gave you doesn't lead to greatness. It leads to mediocrity. Your mind wasn't built to fail, it was built to obey. Look around. The smartest people you know often feel the most stuck. Why? Because their intelligence has been weaponized against them. Overthinking, overanalyzing, constantly seeking permission, afraid to offend, afraid to leap. They weren't taught to believe. They were taught to wait. Wait for the job. Wait for the promotion. Wait for the right time. Wait for confidence. Wait for motivation. Wait for retirement. Wait to be happy. Wait to feel alive. But here's what no one ever told you. If you're always waiting, you're never living. The world is built by the ones who reprogram themselves. Every great man or woman you admire, they all had one thing in common. They broke the program. Edison didn't ask if 10 failures meant he should quit. He decided those failures were feedback. Disney didn't quit when 300 banks rejected him. He decided that rejection meant he was on to something. Lincoln wasn't broken by war, defeat, or loss. He decided that adversity was the forge of greatness. You see, the difference isn't in talent. The difference is in definition. Greatness is a decision. Success is a declaration. It begins the moment you say, I reject the script. I write my own. You were never meant to follow. You were built to lead. Deep down, you know it. That hunger you feel isn't random. That itch to build something, it isn't ego. That fire inside your chest, the one you try to smother with excuses, that's your power trying to wake you up. You weren't born to be quiet. You weren't born to be compliant. You weren't born to play a background role in your own life. You were born to build, to speak, to command, to create. You were born to decide who you become. And until you do, the world will do it for you. The cost of staying programmed is your life. Most people will live and die without ever knowing who they were. They'll pay bills, raise children, scroll phones, complain about work, drink on weekends, sleep in, wake up, repeat. But they'll never take that terrifying, beautiful leap into the unknown. They'll never say, I want more, because to want more is dangerous. It means you're no longer manageable, no longer submissive, no longer easy to control. But here's the truth. You are not here to be controlled. You are here to wake up. Break the program. This moment right now is your line in the sand. This is the moment where you stop making excuses for what they taught you, for what they told you you could be, for what you settled for. This is the moment you say, no more. I choose for myself. And no, it won't be easy. It never is. To break the system means they'll call you crazy. They'll mock you. They'll question you. They'll say you've changed. Good. You're supposed to. You're not here to be the same person they molded. You're here to become the person you were always meant to be. A new mind is a new world. From this point on, everything must change. You will speak differently, walk differently, think differently, choose differently, demand differently, live differently. You will become dangerous to comfort. You will become a threat to mediocrity. You will become unstoppable to the old you. Because the man who rewrites his mind rewrites his destiny. This is your moment of awakening. Not in a book, not in a course, not in a podcast. Right now, right here, inside you. The chains have been rusting for years. The cage door was always unlocked. You were never broken, just buried. And now, piece by piece, you are rising. Not because the world gave you permission, but because you gave yourself the truth. Music shifts to a rising crescendo like sunlight breaking through after a storm. And here it is. You are not average. You are not your past. You are not your programming. You are not your fear. You are the voice that says, I begin again, this time by my rules. No more waiting. No more apologizing. No more asking for a lighter burden. From now on, you ask for a stronger back. The truth of this second lesson. You were programmed to fail, but you've just taken the first step toward rewriting the code. You've remembered who you are. You've remembered that fire. You've remembered that hunger. And now, the world will remember you.